In this video I replaced the battery on this Mercedes CLA 200D. So the time has come to replace this battery, as we've kind of smart charged it and prolonged its life the best we can. Now I came up with a way, hopefully it's going to work, of keeping the memory alive while we change the batteries using no fancy equipment. So the first thing to do, I did have a zip tie there, that got cut some time ago, and it just held these cables in. So we're going to pull the battery holder towards the front of the car. It came off, and that reveals the original Mercedes battery. Now I have ordered a replacement, a Bosch replacement. I'll just show you that. It's a Bosch S5A11. Now these are AGM batteries, so this is going to be a little bit more complicated than if it were lead acid. So what I'm going to do is use this terminal here. This is a positive. So if you, well, it's not recommended you jump start your car with an AGM, but I use it for charging. So that is the positive connection. That's why it's insulated, to make it safe. And then obviously we've got the negative earth, so that's the negative there. So if I connect a battery via jump leads to there and there, it will retain the 12 volt memory. I would have used a charger if it were a lead acid battery, but since it's a smart charger, I don't think it will provide the constant 12 volt power required to maintain the memory of the vehicle. So one thing I do have is I do have two sets of jump leads. These are a bit of a cheap and nasty set, and you can see the insulator's missing there, but the good news is there's plenty of conductor, which I will get to in a moment. And then my better set, much longer, better insulated, better quality. I'm going to have to be extremely careful doing this. It's absolutely imperative that these cables do not short together. So I've got the negative connected to the battery and to the car. So then we'll go for a positive to the battery and then the car via this terminal here. So we've now got a connection, positive and negative, and that's keeping everything alive memory wise. So I've got a 10mm socket, and I'm going to undo the negative first, and there is a reason for this. This tool's conductive. If I accidentally short it to the car body and I'm working on the positive side, we've got a straight path and it'll short the battery. So if we undo the negative first, the risk of that is totally avoided. Give this a wiggle. I'll wiggle this out. It took a bit of going, but we're there now. There's not a lot of space here. It's a bit annoying. And that is attached to a cable, that end, so we're going to have to work round it. You can see the cable it's attached to. So now we'll go to the positive and do the same trick, all being well. So that's just wiggled off in a similar manner, and we're going to be very careful that these don't touch. I don't think they're in any immediate danger of them touching. They've designed them so they're not long enough. And there's a vent here just to remove. And there's a bolt, so you can see it, just down there. Just see it. I'm going to have to take that out. You're going to need a 14mm socket and a good long extension. Okay, so we've managed to move this one further back because we've got to wiggle the battery out and get it round these somehow. So I'm going to have a bit of assistance for this, just to manage everything, because the battery's quite bulky, and you seem to be, if you had the the anatomy of an octopus, I think it might help here. So I've got a bit of help, and gratefully appreciated. And it comes. I've got the old battery wired up with the jump leads, and on these cheap jump leads we're just going to bridge over like that. So that's going to keep the memory. If this were a lead acid setup, I would have just used the battery charger on those two terminals. So I can now safely disconnect the new battery. So that's a new battery shoehorned in, and I'm glad I had assistance with this one. We did actually put the positive side in first and then the negative. So I've got the new battery in and loosely connected, so we don't have to worry about the memory anymore. That can all be disconnected. So we just successfully manoeuvred the battery bracket back in place, and it took a bit of doing because there isn't really a lot of room down there, but we managed without removing that air duct there. The only problem is getting the bolt in, so I've come up with a little plan. We've got the nut wedged into the socket with a bit of polythene there, and hopefully that'll work. Well, that works a treat. Only problem was the polythene got wrapped right round the screwdriver, but it's in. And just refit. You can see these hooks here. There are two of them. The battery cover just slides in. So I've just refitted that, and the zip tie is optional. One thing we did notice is this negative earth cable, that could be totally removed. It was basically pinched in by the battery, so do that if it makes things easier. And we'll reinstate the bonnet release cable. So we'll see if we've got our memory settings retained. We'll just put the key in the ignition. And it's just booting up now. And I'm hearing radio, so that's a really good sign. And the good news is we have all of our presets in, so that's great. We've held the memory whilst changing the battery. Many thanks for watching, and why not subscribe to learn more.